Hey guys, my name is Ashley and I'm a mom of two little girls. I have a 2.5-year-old toddler named Kylie and I also have a 9-month-old baby named Mia. So the general rule of thumb is that when it comes to activities and toys out on the shelves for your children to play with or work with during the day, that you don't have every single item that you own available all at once. You really should just limit it to maybe 6 to 8. If they're a little bit older, you can have a couple of more things, but a very small number of toys and activities that are kind of like the current favorites or things that they're really working to master at the current moment that still presents a challenge for them. And so often parents ask, well, what am I supposed to do with all of the other toys and activities that are not on the shelves right now? Where am I supposed to put them? You might consider having like a series of storage boxes or at least a storage space where you keep some of these activities and toys that are separate, that are not out in the playroom or in the living room or wherever it is that you typically present these activities to your child. And it's important to note that there isn't any one-size-fits-all method on how to do this. There are not any Montessori guidelines on how to store all of your other activities and toys. It depends on a few factors like the age of your children, how many children you have, and perhaps most important of all, how much space you actually have to store all of these things. Today, I'm gonna take you on a short little tour of my collection, my storage organization system for all of the toys and activities that I have for my two girls. They are mostly currently stored in Kylie's closet because she has some really nice built-in shelving, which you guys will see in a second, that easily accommodated the ability to store all of these things there. So from one busy parent to another, today I'd like to share with you one potential solution for toy storage in your Montessori home. Okay, so Kylie's closet is just a standard bedroom closet with sliding doors, and this side is the side that I store everything on right now. So just a quick overview from top to bottom. You can see I have a series of black bins that are labeled that I'm using to store a majority of this stuff. They're just black boxes that I purchased at IKEA. I believe they were called the Samla boxes, and I'm not entirely sure if they actually sell them anymore. I think they might have replaced them with something similar with a different name. I've had them for quite a few years. But the basic system is up at the top, I just have a couple of extra trays and baskets, and then one of these extra boxes that's not being used at the moment. That's normally for music items. This shelf has turned entirely into nothing but hand-eye coordination activities because there were just so many of them that I had accumulated. They didn't all fit in one box. Then we have language materials and math or sensorial materials, kind of like pre-math stuff for kids Kylie's age. And then puzzles, and then a puzzle that doesn't fit in there. I'll show you guys in more detail on what's in the boxes in a minute. And then some Peekaboo sound boxes and some lock boxes. This is the only musical instrument in the closet right now, which like I said is usually in that bin with other ones, but all the other ones are downstairs. So this is the only one, and she was actually using it, so I put it down here where she could get to it. A bin of balls, some baby dolls. These are all of her books that we own that are out of rotation, with the exception of a few that are in her book basket behind me in her teepee tent. And then these are just some stuffed animals that she has accumulated since she was born that she loves and is not ready to let go of yet because we just did a decluttering of what was in there. As far as the categories of items, again, I just kind of did what made sense to me. Like as I started accumulating things, I was like, okay, what category would this make the most sense in? And that was kind of how I came up with my category labels. I envision as she gets older, maybe there might be some new categories popping up. I'm not sure what yet, but I'm ready to have new categories should there become new categories. I purposely have the boxes up here because they are out of her reach, because these are supposed to be things that are out of rotation. On occasion, she does ask me for something that she knows is in one of these two boxes usually, or sometimes she'll ask for one of her puzzles and I will take the box down and pull it out for her. But for the most part, we don't really go through these boxes all that often. It's just the stuff that's downstairs in the playroom. These shelves I have down here at her level on purpose because I do want her to be able to access them if she wants to, because like I said, she likes using the xylophone on occasion. She does love playing with her basket of balls, and typically I encourage her to do that up here in the loft because, you know, there's carpet up here and there's less in the loft for her to accidentally knock off a wall or a shelf. So we keep those up here for that reason. And then her baby doll basket, you know, she doesn't play with it very often, but it's here if she wants it. And then books, she constantly chooses new books for bedtime and puts them in her other book basket. So I like her to be able to access her little library if she wants to switch out the ones that are available. And then her stuffed animals, I guess we'll start down here. So you can see in her stuffed animal bin, she has quite a few of them. This honestly drives me personally insane, but we just, as I said, decluttered this the other day, and we pulled out all of the ones that were like baby stuffed animals or things she just didn't play with, and they either went to Mia or they went to donation to Goodwill. So these are the ones that she has left that she insisted on not being able to part with. So they're in here, and that is the only place that she stores them, except for the 3 or so that I now allow her to take to bed at night. Again, here are her books. There's a good mixture of fiction and nonfiction and all kinds of stuff in there. I've mentioned before in previous videos that we don't prescribe to the nonfiction only Montessori rule. So she has been gifted books that are totally fictitious, and I do try to steer her toward nonfiction, especially when we go on library trips. But as you can see, we've got quite a few titles in here that are also not in that category, and that's okay with me. So xylophone right at her level where she can pull it out, bin of balls, and the balls that we do have in here, I try to like have a variety. As you can see, some of them light up, some of them are squishy, some of them are like a standard miniature soccer ball, like sports ball, some are textured, there are different sizes and colors. There's the little O ball thing. This is actually a blender ball from our smoothie machine thing, but she really likes that. So we just have a little collection of balls in here that are all different sizes and shapes, and actually Mia likes to go through this sometimes too when we have it out. It's interesting for her. Kylie's baby doll basket. She has never really been into babies. I've actually tried several times to kind of push her toward playing with baby dolls, not because she's a girl, just in general, and she doesn't really seem interested in it. So that's why these are not like down in her playroom for her to play with regularly, because they're just not a point of interest for her. So this was gifted to us by her grandmother last Christmas. Otherwise, I've always kind of really purchased her like very generic baby dolls that are soft-bodied dolls, and she's got a couple of like little accessories, baby doll bottles and a real bottle, and things like that in there, little bibs and things like that. So just a couple of accessories, nothing too crazy, because again, she's not really into baby dolls. So when she wants to play with them, she knows they're here and she pulls them out, but they're pretty rarely used, to be honest. So as for the stuff that's up here, that's out of her reach, the first one I said is the puzzle box. So in the puzzle box here, we have the little latch board that doesn't fit in this box down here. So I'll show you guys. She has currently right now, and I try not to go crazy with it because, you know, they are puzzles and you don't need 1,000 of them. She's got a little Melissa and Doug sound puzzle that has the little miniature pegs on it, a 15-piece cardboard puzzle that she was gifted last Easter, a set of nesting dolls that I got her for Christmas last year. She loves these things. These are her 12-piece vehicle wooden puzzles. It's like 4 different ones. She loves this thing. These are all the pieces that go to her 2-piece puzzles, which were just farm animals that she received for Christmas last year and she has mastered a long time ago. This is another Melissa and Doug vehicles puzzle with the little tiny knobs on it. Another small knobbed puzzle. I think this is from the Target dollar spot. It was a gift. And then another Christmas one with the small knobs on it, and then a chunky shape puzzle that I actually got at the dollar store. So that and the puzzle she has downstairs, which is a 24-piece Melissa and Doug wooden like large puzzle. That's her entire puzzle collection right now. Next door to her puzzles, she does have a set of Peekaboo sound boxes, which I actually think I showed you guys in a recent playroom tour video maybe. These are out of rotation at the moment because she stopped really being interested in them. Below that is a set of shape sorter lock boxes. So they are Peekaboo boxes, so you can see inside. They all have different colors, but you can see the shape inside, and they are all different shapes with different locking mechanisms. Both of these items are from Guidecraft. I will leave links to the exact items down below if you're interested in checking those out. This box is her language activities box. I have a whole variety of different things that are kind of like organized by Ziploc bags or little containers. So first I've got her set of family cards that she used to love when she was like 1. She doesn't really play with them anymore. I'm saving them for Mia. So right now they're still in here, but eventually they will move into Mia's room as I move out more things that are for Mia into Mia's room, but I don't have a system in her room yet. We're working on that. This is just a little wooden box from Michael's that has a set of like Easter memory game characters on it. It's a memory card game basically. So I got that for her for Easter. Let me play with that on occasion. These are just sets of flashcards that her grandmother gifted to her, and she was actually really into them for a very long time when she was like learning her colors and learning her shapes and stuff. So I'm kind of saving those for the future because I'm not really into like flashcards per se. It's not really how you do Montessori, but they are useful sometimes for certain activities, so I do like to keep them. This box just has all of the Safari Ltd pet animals in it so that they don't get lost. This one has all of the Safari Ltd bugs and the card set that I made to go with it because they fit in here. I think I have cards for these ones in here somewhere. They just don't fit in that box. And these are all paint swatches for color box 1 and 2 and 3, I think. They're all in here right now. These are the rest of the memory card game cards that go in here. I had them divided up into sets. So these are the other sets. Ah, here they are. These are the cards that go with the pet Ltd creatures. These, I can tell through the back of it, that's a lion. These are the cards that go with her Schleich wildlife animals. These are some classification cards for things having to do with the bathroom. This is a front and back end of the animal matching game with real pictures of real animals. This is a set of classification cards that have to do with different items of clothing, classification cards for things in the bathroom, classification cards for random things that we didn't have a category for otherwise, like household items, I guess. These are the cards for the Schleich farm animals that she has. These are actually a set of pictures that I kept, not for any particular reason. I thought I might be able to use them for like a future activity, but I did keep them. They used to be on her wall next to her bed. And then inside this little pouch are just some magnetic letters and numbers. We haven't really done much with them yet, but I imagine once she starts actually like reading and writing, maybe we'll use them. So I keep them on hand. As I said earlier, her math bin is not really like math because she's just a little kid, you know, she's a toddler. She's not really doing like real math yet, but there are some things that are like pre-math activities that lead up to that. So one that I have for her is a color sorting thing with some pom-poms, although it looks like they got a little jumbled up here, but there's one pom-pom corresponding to each of these. I just colored in the bottom of this carton with a marker. She loved this for a very, very long time. This is just a basket of, I think I printed these off of a blog somewhere. If you guys want the link to it, let me know and I'll see if I can find it. But it's a set of big, medium, and small. So there's 3 of every picture in here and they come in big, medium, and small. And then she can sort them out by, you know, size order. This is a set of stacking cubes, which is kind of like the pink tower, I guess. Not exactly because they're not made of wood and they do have like colors and pictures and other things on them, but they kind of work that way. And so the whole sorting by size order thing, that's like a pre-math activity. Here I've got a series of buttons for button sorting and button size sorting and things like that. This muffin tin I have set aside with the numbers. I just like did it on paper and taped it down, but she can sort number of pom-poms by however many there are. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's another counting activity, pre-math. And then finally, I've got the little Melissa and Doug stacker sorter toy with all the pieces that are here that correspond to each of the pegs, and it goes from 1 through 5 accordingly. And I did make a set of like glitter paper numbers that are kind of like sandpaper numbers, I guess, just to go with it. But she's not really into counting right now. She went through a short period where she was, and that's why I made it, and then she was out of it again. So I've kind of been holding on to this for the near future when she really gets into true counting again. And then the mother of all shelves is the hand-eye activities. Like I said, I had to do it in 2 bins because it used to all be in 1 and there just became too many of them. So now they're in 2. So in the first hand-eye bin, I have her set of Schoolsy stacking pegs. I'll put a picture on the screen here of what those do so you can see and I don't have to bust them out. This is just a little pouch that has a zipper on it. So for practice opening and closing, I think I have a few more either in this bin or I might have moved them into Mia's room already. I'm not sure, but this is an opening and closing pouch. A little Magnadoodle from the dollar store. Her Geo board and all the rubber bands for it are in this little basket so they don't get lost. Also in this basket, it's kind of mixed up right now because I need another container for these, but I have a little lock and key for her to practice opening and closing. Got it from the dollar store. and then one of these little wooden peg games that you see at restaurants. For a long time, she just liked putting the pegs in there, and recently I started teaching her how to actually play the game. I also have her threading cheese. This is one of her favorite toys, but I took it out of rotation because it was out for a really long time and she kind of forgot about it for a few days. So I was like, let's make space for something new, and I stashed it back in the closet for a little bit. And then last but not least in this box are her Melissa and Doug lacing beads. And the last box is the other one, which just has a few things in it right now. I've got some of these dressing frames. They're not like wooden, really nice ones. They are definitely a budget alternative that I found on Amazon. And she started showing interest in doing some of the easier ones, like the snap and the zipper for a while, and then she just stopped playing with it. Like, she stopped trying. So I just took it away. I took it off the shelf and put it back up, and I'm gonna bring it out again in a little while. I'm not sure. Whenever she kind of shows interest in dressing herself again, and learning new things with all of these little closures, that's when I'm gonna bring them back out. And I'm only gonna give her like one at a time. She'll never get like the whole set. That's just too much all at once. So those are up here for the time being. And then I think the only other thing in this box is her Light Bright. I used to have one of these when I was a kid, but she's very fascinated with getting the little pegs into the holes. And it does come with a series of templates, but she just likes to kind of freestyle and do her own thing, which is totally fine by me. So that's her little set of Light Bright pegs that she likes to play with on occasion. Now I do have some more stuff over in Mia's room. I'll have to show you guys that in a little bit because Mia is taking her nap right now. Again, at the top, I just had an extra basket and a tray, you can see, and an extra one of those black boxes that is normally, again, for musical instruments, but they're all downstairs right now, so I don't need a whole bin for it. Once Mia gets all of her musical instruments for Christmas, then we're gonna have to use that box again to kind of rotate out what the instruments are that are available. So I'm keeping it on hand for that. In fact, I think it actually has the label on the other side still. Let me see. Yep, see, there it is, music. So all the musical instruments will go back in there once we're ready for it. And then on this side of her closet, I do let her play with these things whenever she wants. This was just kind of like an afterthought because she likes playing with her blocks, but not always. And she would ask me for them all the time, like just randomly. So I decided to just put them in little drawers that she can get to herself whenever she wants to. And on occasion, we'll rotate them out downstairs in the playroom, but for the most part, this is where they live. So she has a set of these like mega blocks that stick together like Legos, and she likes those, but she also likes playing with her wooden blocks from time to time. Like, she doesn't have a preference for either one. I think she likes them both pretty equally. So this is just the set of the Melissa and Doug wooden blocks. I think she likes the challenge of the fact that these don't stick together sometimes, and then other times she just wants to like have it easier and she likes to play with those. So who knows? But this last drawer, I don't even want to show you guys this drawer because I hate this drawer. Like, that's a strong word. I hate this drawer. This is her junk drawer. I actually call it that, and that's what Kylie calls it because it's literally filled with junk. Like, okay, except for maybe her Mr. Potato Head, which she really likes. Everything else is just junk. Like all of these little Happy Meal toys and things that like were randomly gifted to her, and like plastic stuff that just doesn't go anywhere else. Like, I don't even know sometimes like why we have this drawer. It's stuff that she, like, I got her this for Easter, like I don't know what I was thinking. So anyway, this is her junk drawer, and I am planning at some point in the future to go through it and probably get rid of like 90% of it. But she is actually playing with a lot of the things that are in there. Like, she likes to fill up little bags from like the playroom downstairs and put random items from this drawer in that bag and transport them around the house. Like, that's just like her thing. So I don't have the heart to get rid of it yet because of that. But anytime we get something that's like plastic junk, I'm like, go put it in your junk drawer. And this is the drawer I'm talking about. So it's kind of funny actually that she calls it that too. But yeah, so I really didn't want to show you guys this, but it exists, so I thought you should know. Okay, so I am legit running out of daylight here, but this is Mia's closet. Now that she's awake, I can show you. Obviously, this needs some serious work, and it's going to be changing very soon. You guys will see, stay tuned. These are her books. I literally put these here yesterday because I was like, I don't know where else to put them right now. But she just has a couple of baby books that came out of Kylie's closet that I felt were more appropriate for Mia than for Kylie now at the age she is. She has one bin of little stuffed animals, some of which used to be Kylie's that Kylie kindly donated to her. Others that have been Mia's since she was born. The rest of her stuff that's out of rotation is up here in these two boxes. This one is like sensory stuff, and this one is things that are too little for Kylie to use, like she doesn't really care about using them anymore, but they're not quite ready for Mia yet. Like they're upcoming things for her. So I'm gonna show you what's in this box real quick because these are current rotation items and those are for the future. All right, so a lot of these items came from Kylie's bins, but they're like not for Kylie anymore. So I moved them in here. And if you've seen my DIY toys and activities video, you might have seen some of these in that video. So, again, all in current rotation. So she's got some of her KiwiCo blocks here. There's another one floating around here somewhere. Her fabric knot ball rattle. Some sensory balls. Another sensory ball, bumpy ball thing. This is actually, oops, this was actually Kylie's and she used to love this thing. This was from her KiwiCo box also. That's like a wrinkly taggy blanket. She also has a different taggy blanket that I purchased a long time ago, or maybe this was gifted. I don't remember, but this was Kylie's. So that one, another taggy that doesn't make any sounds, but it just has different textures on either side. Her Sarah Silk's wooden teether ring. There's the other KiwiCo block. This is a rough and smooth board to teach the idea of the concept of rough versus smooth. It's just a piece of sandpaper on a little wooden block. I had Mike make this for Kylie when she was a baby, and Mia has not used it yet, but it is like a sensory material, as are all of these things, which is why I have it in that container. These were her black and white high contrast cards that she used when she was a newborn. There's another ball from the sensory ball set. The banana, an extra wooden ring that I had, a rainbow teether that I made for Kylie a long time ago that has like these interesting feeling ribbons on it. A set of sensory bottles. So this one is just water with like confetti glitter. This one has like googly eyes and pom-poms and beads and stuff in it, and they are like hot glued shut so they don't leak. This one is just rice with some of those little clear gem things inside that can kind of roll and she can see them in there, and it makes noise. This is just an empty bottle with a necklace, and then another water one that has like, this was like a winter themed one. It's got some snow confetti and more of those little clear glass gems. And this is just an empty jug that I fill with water so that they can carry it around, because toddlers go through this thing, it's called a maximum effort. They like to carry heavy things, and Kylie used to love carrying this around. I started out with it half full, and then once that became easy for her, I filled it up all the way, and she would literally just carry it around. So I figured it's clean, I kept it, and Mia's gonna use it too once she gets to using it. This is in the current rotation box because I don't have space for it in the other one, but she's not quite to that stage yet. Obviously, she needs to be walking first. This is a Peekaboo sensory board, like a DIY one. These are all the little tops that come on the wipes containers, and I just cut them out and hot glued them to this old cardboard box from Kylie's Walker Wagon. And I put different items that have different textures inside each one, and so they can open them up and see what's inside and feel it. And I think I just have like styrofoam, bubble wrap, pom-poms, burlap, some pipe cleaners that I cut apart, some of that like drawer liner stuff, some ribbons from like Christmas bows, some cotton balls, and a sparkly glittery, it's like kind of rough piece of a Christmas tag that I cut apart. So yeah, really cheap and easy, fun DIY Peekaboo sensory board. You can actually close them all the way, but right now she can't like get that part open. She can only do that, which is why I don't have them shut all the way yet. And this bag right here was from her pack of wooden toys. These were her set of wooden Montessori toys that are apparently no longer sold on Amazon for some reason, but love these things, wish they were. And those toys are actually over in her shelf right there. So this is the other box. Again, this is the stuff that's like for the future that Mia is not quite ready for yet, but she's almost there, so I've got it ready to go. I apologize if it's getting dark in here. I'm like running out of daylight and there's no light in here. This is a little hedgehog. Okay, so I just opened this up to show you guys so that I wouldn't spill them all out, because as you can see, the rest of them, well, maybe you can't see, the rest of them are all in there, but it comes with all these little plastic spikes that fit inside these little holes. They're actually kind of rubbery and really satisfying feeling, but they fit perfectly in these little holes. And this was actually a toy that a friend who came and visited us last year had, like they brought it with them, and Kylie was obsessed with it. So they bought her one for Christmas. So I held on to it because this has been a favorite. It's not wood, it's not like a Montessori material, I know, but Kylie really, really likes it, and I think Mia will too. So holding on to the little hedgehog guy. This is the DIY Montessori object permanence box that I made for Kylie out of an old bundt cake gift box when we moved into this house. So again, pretty plain and simple. The baby learns to like post it in through the hole, and then it reappears and teaches them the concept of object permanence. So that's for Mia pretty soon, actually. This is just an old Puffs container that is filled with pom-poms, and the idea is that you just post, it's a posting activity. They just post the little pom-poms into the hole, and babies like to do that kind of thing. This is another posting activity. You can see there's a bunch of those little wooden pegs on the inside. So they just pop the little pegs into the hole, shake it around, dump it out. Whoop, whoop, there we go. Yeah, so you get it at the right angle and they come out. So little posting activity. This is one of Kylie's other favorites. This is the next level up puzzle that Mia will be working on once she masters the 3 circles that I showed you guys recently. She'll be doing the 3 different shapes. So we're holding on to that. This is another posting activity. This was just a bunch of leftover like gift cards and hotel keys and whatnot that I had laying around. I cut a little hole in an old little Crunchies Beanies container, and they just pop the cards in one at a time. Same idea here, except this one is a little bit more challenging because there's more holes and the holes are smaller. You do the same thing with craft sticks. And if you want to make it even more advanced, I've seen people like color the holes and then color the craft sticks, and they have to do the color matching and all that stuff. This is a tugging lid, which is kind of like a tugging box, but just the lid version. So it's just got knotted pieces of ribbon on either side, and the baby learns how to tug them from one side to the other. This is hard to do one-handed, but they just tug them and then they flip it over and tug again, and it's just like back and forth, back and forth. This is the Peg and Cup half of the Egg and Cup set that I have not given to her yet because she has not quite mastered Egg and Cup, but once she does, I will give her Peg and Cup. I actually bought this on Etsy from a really great shop called Bella's Casa. I will link it below. Here are all of the other interesting little wallets for opening and closing activities. It's just one of those little coin purses with the little open and closing balls at the top. Just snaps shut. This is just a little clamshell box. It's kind of velvety, fun to touch. This one is just a little neoprene. It's got a hole there, like wallet, I guess. This was just a little fabric pouch that has no drawstring or anything. It's literally just a pouch. And then this is a little small zipper wallet that's got multiple little zippers all over it on different sides and little pockets and a little see-through thing. And then this is a wipes container that not only is used for storage right now of some of these items, but I also shove play scarves into it, and then they can pull the play scarves out of it just like they would with wipes, and it's really fun for them. So in here, I'm just keeping old CDs for putting on top of that Melissa and Doug stacker. This was really fun for a while for Kylie. It's kind of like an alternative to the little donuts that come with it, which is what these are. Oh, and I almost didn't see this in here. There's a wallet, like an actual traditional leather wallet that I think was like an old one from Mike or something, but it's got more of the little cards in it for her to pull out and put in and what have you. And again, another really fun activity for little ones. Just in case you're wondering, over in Mia's shelf, she does have a little basket. Oh, Kylie moved these. This is normally just a set of some of those wooden toys that she likes to play with sometimes. And then I usually keep 1 or 2 books face out here, and we read them for bedtime stories usually. This is the wooden snail shape sorter pull toy thing. This was Kylie's absolute favorite toy when she was 1. Once she learned how to do the little shapes on here, and also when she started walking and pulling it, and it makes noise. It's not doing it very well on the carpet. There we go. But yeah, she loves this toy, so I know Mia's gonna love it too. And she likes to just play with the blocks right now, which is why I have it out. And then another sensory ball. I think I actually had these balls together with this one, and Kylie moved them, and then I moved the basket. So that's supposed to be in a basket. So those are the only other remaining toys in Mia's room, and these are actually the only ones that she has direct access to right now. So that is my system. Again, it is nothing fancy, and it is entirely of my own devising. If you guys have any questions or even suggestions on ways that you have found that work for you to help store some of the things that are out of rotation, then please leave us a comment down below and share with us. And just in case you are new to my channel, I did want to let you know that this video is part of a larger series called Montessori at Home, which is aimed at providing practical tips and advice for busy parents like you and I for implementing Montessori philosophies at home with your children. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in learning more about, then you might consider subscribing to my channel. This way you don't miss a new video, because I do upload a new one just like this one every single week. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.